Okay, everyone, now that we're in great position to play the shot with grip, grip pressure, stance distance from the ball, correct posture, and correct ball positioning, it's time to begin the swing. So this can get complicated if you're not careful, so we have to ward that off. We don't want things to be complicated. We want them to be straightforward and easy to reproduce. So starting the swing is a really incredibly important thing. Do not get lost in the details. Do yourself that favor. You'll hear and read articles about wrist cock, about the one-piece takeaway, about setting the club up early. You'll read articles about what the knees do or what the hips do or what the shoulders need to do. Just do your best and try to just gloss right over those articles and videos. They're important information contained within those, but you got to practice a lot. You've got to be really, really dedicated. If you're just trying to enjoy the game more, let's focus on the shape of the golf swing and the pressure we apply to the handle throughout the motion, particularly in the startup. So if I make this golf swing, I want you to ignore the club. In fact, I'm going to set the club over here. Okay? Now look at my hands. They are not resting on the ground, are they? They're suspended off the ground. That means I'm carrying the weight of my arms completely by myself. Now as I make the motion here, what's that little shape? If you watch the motion of my hands, they travel a small little arc here. Okay? I'm not worrying about how much roll or hinge that's happening on my arms and wrists. I'm just moving my hands back along this little arc here. That's it. Now if I do that with the club in hand, if we go and do the same thing this way, we see certain reactions. The face of the club opens up a little bit. The club moves up and behind me, starts coming around behind me this way. Those are just happening. I'm not thinking over all the details that create that. Just picture that little arc shape that we saw without the club and recreate it. Now I did mention that my hands weren't touching the ground. That seems obvious. The reason for that comment is that we want to begin the swing with the club suspended slightly off the ground. Not much, just enough that you carry the complete weight of the golf club. If that club is resting fully on the ground this way, okay, I have to necessarily increase my tensions and pressures on the handle in order to get the club in motion. That's going to be a killer for your golf swing. It's going to rob you of tempo and rhythm. It's also going to likely sap your power. So be careful about that and begin your swings with the club elevated slightly off the ground. Now I'm not saying to just pick it up and go, because that's just as herky-jerky and unsure. I want you to get it off the ground, okay, and sort of marinate in that feel for a minute or two. Realize what pressure is actually being put on the club and what pressure is being put on your hands by the club. Find that balance and find that feel, and then we're going to try to maintain it through the takeaway and eventually through the entire swing. So I'll hit one now and just give you a look at that process. So it's a pretty simple golf swing. There are other things going on, things I could pull out and look at in detail, but I'm just going to take away from the athletic experience and the freedom of that. So make it simple. Keep watching, ask your questions. Let me know how I can help.